Everybody, it's time for a substitution video, level 1 all the way through level 3. So in case you forget what to do, you can reference this. So here we go, substitution. All right, so level 1, here's an example. Well, we're going to do all of these. Y equals 2x minus 5, and y equals x minus 2. Here's the thing. Both of these y's have the exact same value. It's either double x and subtract 5 or a single x minus 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this guy right here is isolated. They're both isolated actually. And I'm going to plug in this value right here. So I'm going to write the x minus 2 first. It equals the rest of this. So this is now here. So now there's the equal sign, 2x minus 5. You only get these types of situations when you have y's isolated or a variable isolated in both of them, where you have variables on both sides. So you have to change the sign. I'm going to take this guy away here, eliminate it. 1x minus 2x is negative x, right? Didn't draw my line, sorry. And now I'm at a 2-step. I'm going to add the 2 to eliminate that. Add the 2 over here. This is $1 million question. Different signs I need to subtract. I have more negatives. 5 minus 2 is 3. I bring down that negative x. Now remember, it's really negative 1x. So I'm going to divide by negative 1. And I know that a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 3 divided by 1 is 3. So x equals positive 3. And once I have this, I can plug it into either the top or the bottom. I'm just going to do the bottom. Y equals whatever x is minus 2. So x is 3. So plug in 3 there. 3 minus 2 is 1. So y should equal 1. I put my x value first, my y after it, and then I check my answers by plugging these both into this equation. So, well, 2 times x, which is 6. 6 minus 5 should equal y, 1. Yeah, it does work. That's that type. You won't see it very much. The next type, you'll see far more often. Y equals x minus 3. I have an isolated variable. But in the other equation, it's not isolated, which tells me really what I need to do. I have an isolated variable. Here it is in the other equation. I'm going to replace this with that. So I start by writing this, all right, x plus, what is y? Oh, it's x minus 3. What does that equal? It equals negative 7. Okay. This is what you're going to see 99% of the time, because that's what you're going to see. Combine like terms, x and x, 1 plus 1 makes 2x. I bring down my negative 3. Change the sign on my constant, so it eliminates. Over here, I have to check the $1 million question. Different signs subtract. I have more negatives. 7 minus 3 is 4. Bring down my x and its coefficient, and then divide by the coefficient. Yoshi's wheel reminds me that a positive and a negative make a negative answer. So x equals negative 4 divided by 2 is 2. I'm going to plug this guy in. I'm going to plug it into my isolated equation. It's way easier if I do it that way. So I get y equals whatever x is minus 3. Well, x is negative 2. Okay. Same signs, add and keep. That makes negative 5. So my final answer, x goes first, negative 2. Y comes next, negative 5. And then I check. So this one just says, take the x and the y and add them together. So negative 2 and negative 5 make negative 7. I have checked it. I know I'm correct. That's a level 1. Those both were. Now this is a level 2. A level 2, I call it a level 2 because something's one step harder. Not that much harder, but just one little step. 2y plus 3x equals 5. Now you can pause and solve any of these ahead of me if you want. I'm just demoing. So there's my isolated variable. Yay, that makes it really easy. Where's it going to go? Right here, but you notice that there's a 2 there. Oh, that's going to change things. That's what's going to go there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the entire equation out, but I'm going to open up the y and make parentheses big enough to fit this. So I'm going to write the 2 first. Instead of y, big parentheses, plus 3x equals 5. Now that I've done that, now I plug this into there, negative 2x plus 4. And I have to do distributive property here. So I'm going to do the rainbows. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4x. And then the second one, 2 times 4 is 8. Everything else just comes down. Combining like terms, I have x's here and there. Negative 4 and positive 3, different signs subtract. I have more negatives. 4 minus 3 is 1. So I have negative 1x plus 8 equals 5. And now I start changing signs. We're going to eliminate my 8 by changing its sign. Bring it over here. $1 million question says different signs. I'm subtracting. I have more negatives, and 8 minus 5 is 3. I bring down that negative 1x. I divide by negative 1. I know that a negative and a negative make a positive, so that's my answer. X equals positive 3. I'm going to plug it into this isolated equation. Y equals negative 2, parentheses for the x, so I can plug it in, plus 4. I'm plugging in the 3 right here. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. So y should be negative 2. So x goes first, 3. We solve for x first every time. That's a bummer. And y is negative 2. It happens other ways. That's okay. Maybe the next one will be like that. Now I check. I'm going to do 2 times y. All right, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. 3 times x, 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 4 is 5. I've checked it. I know I'm right. I'm happy, and I keep going. I flip this paper over, and I'll show you the other level 2, level 3. I'm not even going to see level 4 because I don't think I'm going to have you do those really. They're annoying, and you can just do elimination instead. So here we go. This is another level 2. X minus 2y equals 2, and 4y plus x equals 8. Now this one's different than anything we've seen before because I don't have an isolated variable. I have 2y, negative 2y, 4y. That looks gross. But then I have these x's. They're both without a coefficient. So I could isolate either the top x or the bottom one by moving the other to the other side and changing its sign. I'm going to isolate this guy here. I'm going to isolate the x on the top. And I'm going to move the negative 2y over and change its sign. So I get x, it equals negative 2y becomes a positive 2y, and that stays the same, plus 2. That's the isolation. Take whatever's on the same sign, move it over. I could have isolated this x. But now I don't want to look at this anymore. That one has already been used because this is the same equation as that. I don't want to plug into the same equation. Now I'm going to follow the pattern I did before. Oh, there's my isolated variable. There's its twin in the other equation. That's what gets plugged in. So now I'm going to rewrite the bottom equation up here. I have 4y plus whatever x is. What is x? Oh, x is going to be 2y plus 2. 2y plus 2. Now I got to finish with the equals 8. Okay. So then I'm combining like terms again. 4y, 2y, that gives me 6y plus 2 equals 8. Eliminate your constant by changing signs. 8 minus 2 is 6. Bring down my variable and coefficient and divide by the coefficient. 6 divided by 6 is 1. So now I'm plugging in right here. I get x equals 2, parentheses, plus 2. I'm plugging the y in. So 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So x should equal 4. X always goes first, so this should be 4, comma 1. And now I check in this equation right here, the one I didn't plug into, not the isolated. So 4 times whatever y is. 4 times 1 is 4, plus x, well, x is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. I have checked. I know I'm correct. Ooh, that almost rhymes. One more. This is the level 3. It combines isolating and plugging in where you have to distribute. Here's your level 3. It's magical. 2x plus y equals negative 2. And 3x plus 2y equals negative 1. Okay. So there's clearly a variable that I should isolate. It's the y right here because it does not have a coefficient. If it had a coefficient, that makes this a level 4, where it's a 2-step just to isolate, and that's a pain in the butt. It's easier to eliminate. So this is the one I want to isolate. So I'm going to put y first, and it equals, I'm going to take this positive 2x and slide it over here. It now becomes a negative. That's all you have to do is change the sign when you move it over. This guy stays the same. So I'm done with this guy. So now I'm going to go through my process of saying this is my isolated. Here's its twin. That's what gets plugged in. Now I'm going to rewrite the entire bottom equation, but I'm going to open up the y with a big set of parentheses. So 3x plus 2 big parentheses equals negative 1. It helps if you say it, by the way. Then I'm going to plug in this right there, negative 2x minus 2. Now I have to do the distributive property. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, and the x stays there. And then 2 times negative 2 again is negative 4. Everything else just drops down. 3x equals negative 1. Combining like terms again, 3x and negative 4x, those are different signs, so I subtract. I have more negatives. 4 minus 3 is 1. So I get negative 1x minus 4 equals negative 1. So we'll change the sign on your constant to eliminate. Do it to the other side. This is really 4 minus 1 is 3. It's just an upside down first grade problem. Bring down that negative 1x and divide by the coefficient. Yoshi tells me that positive and a negative make a negative answer, so x is going to equal negative. 3 divided by 1 is 3. Now I plug in here again into my isolated equation, so negative 2, parentheses for the x, minus 2. Plug in the negative 3. Negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. So my answer should be negative 3. X goes first. Y goes second. 4. Let me see if it checks out. So 3 times the x, 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. 2 times the y, 2 times 4 is positive 8. Negative 9 and positive 8 makes negative 1. Yep, checked it, and I am done. So there is a quick kind of summary of all the levels 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully that helps you out. See you next time.